Former President Donald Trump has secured an extraordinary legal victory. A federal judge in Florida granted his request for an independent review of materials discovered at Mar-a-Lago. And with just 9 weeks to go until the midterm elections, the former president has placed himself in the center of several campaigns. He attacked President Biden and Democrats at a rally in Pennsylvania Saturday night. But his influence will again be tested this November. So for more on this, let's bring in CBS News political director Finn Gomez, who's in Washington. Finn, let's talk about the Trump factor heading into the midterm elections. I mean, is it a factor? I know that there have been,
Everybody's talking about it, but then there's sort of a question, like all politics are local, right?
Yeah, he's not some big wins for folks that he's sort of endorsed, but he's also lost a couple.
Yeah, and also primaries are different from general elections.
Right.
Tell us about it, Finn.
Absolutely. Actually, earlier this summer, when Trump was seriously contemplating an early 2024 announcement before the midterms, he received intense pushback from Republicans like House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy not to announce before the November 8th midterms because the focus of the elections could shift from inflation and the economy issue Republicans are running on to Trump and could make the midterms more of a referendum on Trump instead of President Biden's policies. With Mar-a-Lago and the multiple investigations into the former president, I think that's actually what's effectively has happened. Democrats that I've spoken to say they're running more against Trump, and in turn, it's boosting some of their candidates in these key battleground states and key crucial elections. Trump has also played a major role, as you mentioned, in selecting the Republican nominees come this November. Yes, he has had some losses, but a high number of pro-Trump candidates have won. And many believe in Trump's claim, made without evidence, that the 2020 election was stolen. These candidates may have won overwhelmingly in some of these primaries and some of these battleground states, but in the general election in some of these battleground states and key elections, they could actually face defeat in the general, where it's more of a larger electorate, of course. Mm-hmm. So it's really something we need to watch and play out. And also, his strategy has been more about being a grudgeless a lot of times. A lot of his endorsements are people who believe in election denialism, but also he's campaigned against some candidates who voted to impeach him, and also those who supported the January 6th committee in other aspects. So has he played a role? Yes, but let's see how effective that will be come November.
Another thing, a factor that might even be more powerful in November might be abortion rights. Finn, how do you think that debate is going to impact voter turnout?
Well, you're seeing it already in some of these key matchups already that have happened during the primary season after Roe v. Wade was overturned, where you've seen this Democratic base get boosted, get fueled to go to the polls. You saw in Kansas, you saw in some other surprising wins in the primary, but it's not just Democrats. You're also seeing it amongst independent and some moderate Republicans. However, Republican consultants that I've spoken to say that it's still about the economy, it's still about inflation, and those are those that they believe will outweigh some of those inroads that the Democrats have made. But even our own projections show that the gains in the Republicans come November might be smaller than before, and it could be because of the abortion rights factor.
So, Finn, let me ask you about this. Gas prices are falling and job numbers are staying strong, but inflation remains a concern for many Americans. And we've seen some polling. There was some recent polling in the news that voters are saying that what's happened with abortion rights is, in some cases, more important than the economy. But how much would the economy factor in this November?
Actually, as you mentioned, it has become abortion rights and other issues have become very important in this election cycle. But Republicans continue to run on and have made inflation in the economy central to their midterm strategy. James Carville, the famous Democratic consultant, once said, I think in 1992, it is the economy, stupid. But in 2022, it is really about the inflation, stupid, you can argue. And inflation, and there's still high gas prices, but they have started to go down. And as gas prices go down, Democrats say their chances of winning in November go up, and you see some of that. It's not, and again, in some of these key battleground states, there are multiple factors. It's not just the economy, but overall, nationally, it's still the economy that matters, and we'll see how that plays out, and we'll see how the economy plays out in the next 2 months.
In every election, the economy matters. Now
The
there's
economy
also
matters,
in
absolutely.
every election. There are some other issues too, but always the economy. All right.
Only 63 days, 2 months, a little over 2
Start
months.
those countdown
Who's
clocks.
counting? But who's counting?
Yeah.
All right, Finn, thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.